This is the tournament, where we take 16 things that were never meant to be compared and we compare them and pit them against each other in a battle royale. We have two co-hosts today. First up, our defending champion, Lauren. Lauren, tell us a little bit about what makes you so special.
Well, I'm special because I'm a winner, and I'm special because I love Harry Potter. And who doesn't like winners in Harry Potter?
Me.
That would be our challenger for today. That is Erin. Erin, tell us why you're going to win today.
I am good at stuff.
The topic for today's tournament is insensible. Insensible refers to things that make no sense or are insane. So we have 16 different things that are insensible today. Item number 1, bathroom stall gaps. They're the little gaps underneath and the sides of the doors of the bathroom stalls. Why do those exist? People don't want to see in there. You don't want people to look in there, yet there they are. Item number 2, student debt. Hey, pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for an education where in the rest of the world they manage to do it for free. Student debt, it's insane. Item 3, a rat king. When rat populations get too high, rat tails tie themselves together, forming one entity known as a rat king. Item 4, the Second Amendment to the Constitution. This is the right to bear arms, which also means you have the right to own automatic weaponry and whatever the hell else you want, as long as it fires. And item 5, anti-maskers. We don't care if we are spitting all over you and spreading viruses wherever we want. We have the right to not wear a mask. Next item on the list, Charlie Sheen. At one point, he was a normal actor, and then he became batshit crazy. Next item on the list, child beauty pageants. Let's take children, make them fake with teeth and who knows what else, and judge them on their physical attributes. Insane. Up onto the list goes conspiracy theorists. You know what doesn't make sense? Coincidence. There are no coincidences according to conspiracy theorists. Jack Torrance. Jack Torrance is the protagonist of the Stephen King novel, The Shining. He was played on screen by Jack Nicholson, and he went insane. Bridezillas. Before the wedding, they are a regular, normal, everyday person, but as soon as the planning starts, they become horrible monsters. Lobotomy. Have a mental issue? Well, if it's the early part of the 20th century, the solution was remove a small chunk of your brain. That'll solve the problem. Early 1900s sanitariums. If you have a mental issue, just throw you in a big house with some other folks. Do you get any medical care? Probably not. Nipple disparity. Dudes can show their nipples, but ladies can't. Why not? No one knows. Daffy Duck. He's a cartoon character, and he probably also is insane. Imperial measurement. We use feet, ounces, gallons, and it doesn't make any sense. Why not use meters and grams like the rest of the world? The last item on the list is Donald J. Trump. He's the president of the United States right now.
Oh my!
Lauren, tell us about your team.
All right. Well, you see on this championship team, we have bathroom gaps, anti-maskers, child beauty pageants, Jack Torrance, and Daffy Duck as a wild card.
Erin, tell us about your team and why you think you're going to win or not.
My team is going to be a total beatdown because Charlie Sheen is winning. Student debt, early 1900s sanitariums. Oh, nipple disparities. The Second Amendment.
And here are the 5 things on my team. First of all, I've got a rat king. Next.
I love Rat King. I'm so jealous of Rat King, John.
I also have conspiracy theorists, bridezillas, lobotomies, and the imperial measurement. Those There's nothing that makes sense about any of those things, and that's why they are going to win this category. So for this furry pit, everything against everything else. Number 1, ratting versus lobotomy.
Lobotomy should win because the brain is the most superior part of the body. And it doesn't matter if you take little pieces out of it, it's still the brain and it controls everything. And one human brain is smarter than 10 to 12 rat brains.
Rat King is literally the most insane thing I've ever heard of in my life. So wait, so let me just make sure that my understanding is correct. The rat's frenzy over the pizza slice, the gutter pizza, frenzy to the point of entanglement that then forms a new creature that is now the king of rats. That wins. There's nothing that can beat that. It's a pinwheel of rats. Their teeth would be on the outside. They'd be like a gnawing wheel of death, a pinwheel of destruction. I mean, that's gonna win. Rat King.
Primarily for the coinage of the phrase "pinwheel of rats," it's going to be the Rat King for this round.
Yes, woo! It's always mine, but I'm really happy about it anyway.
I mean, I was pushing for that one too. I didn't have a good argument anyway.
Sanitariums versus conspiracy theorists.
And what's more insane than the literal house of insanity? Which, I mean, that's what a sanitarium is. It's basically all the insane people in one space. And to top it off with a little salt shaker of insanity, the people who ran it were usually more insane than the patients. And they tortured them and stuff. So, I mean, we're talking early 1900s sanitarium. That's some effed up stuff right there.
Now, I think that conspiracy theorists are even more insane because they can take any two events and say why they are connected and why both of them are going to destroy your freedoms and your way of life. You notice that conspiracy theorists, it's never like all of these things are happening in order to make a better world for ourselves. No, every conspiracy theorist out there says this is happening because of the government coming to take your freedoms. Insane.
And I'm going to go with the one that Aaron had. So the sanatoriums. Sarah, yeah, that one.
Next match, student debt versus nipple disparity. Student debt is insane because at the age of 18 or even younger, you sign up to take classes and you also at the same time agree to be responsible for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in debt. This is at a time when your brain is not yet finished developing. Your brain doesn't finish developing until you're 25, or in my case, it still hasn't.
There are two sets of nipples on humans. One set is just for show, and that would be the male set. And then there's the female set, which does not just only present a great show, it feeds others. So why would you want to put and hide and shame something that feeds other little nippled humans? It's just insane.
Yeah, I would argue nipple disparity is the correct answer because you have to consent to student debt. Even if you are not of the right mind and you're young and naive, you still have to sign the thing. And ain't nobody signing off on nipple disparity.
That's right.
Free the nipple. Woo!
Woo!
We have imperial measurement versus anti-maskers. Do you know how many milligrams are in a gram? 1,000. Bam. It's all just moving decimals. How many milliliters are in a liter? 1,000. Bam. How many millimeters are in a meter? 1,000. Bam. It's just that easy. Now, how many ounces are in a cup? Fuck if I know. How many quarts are in a gallon? Nobody knows. Why not go with a system where you automatically know how many things are in the other things?
The number one reason why anti-maskers are crazy is because they don't think science is real. And they think that a small piece of cloth is going to suffocate them. You know good and well that most of them have probably had their face down in a pillow for longer than the amount of time they would wear that mask in a grocery store. So I don't understand what the big deal. I don't understand what the big deal is. And if a surgeon can wear a mask for 12 hours fixing your ex-wife's boob job, I bet you can wear a mask for 20 minutes in the store. It's all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. It's crazy.
The answer is clearly anti-maskers. They're the most insane thing out there right now.
The Second Amendment versus Donald Trump.
The Second Amendment is insensible because it was created at a time that is different than now, but people still use it now to justify stupid stuff that wasn't what they were talking about when they made it in 1790, whatever.
Donald Trump trained his whole life for one thing, and that is to be famous. There are way better ways to be famous than being president, but in his insane brain, he thought, how can I be the most famous president? President equals famous. Famous equals president.
He thinks that if you just like stop looking and like measuring something, it doesn't exist anymore. So like if you stop saying that it's your birthday, you won't age.
Here's a reason. Haircut, fake tan combo.
Trump deserves to be the most insane.
He is more insane than the Second Amendment.
That means that much as in real life, my vote will be wasted if I vote for anybody else. Thank you, my fellow Kansans. We have Daffy Duck versus stall gaps. I will tell you why bathroom stall gaps are insane. This is the 21st century. We can do better. We don't have to have hastily put up pieces of wood so people don't see your no-no parts while you're trying to go potty. No, we've got the technology that we can make that different. You know, on the Johnny on the Spot, when you lock the door, it turns the outside label and it says occupied. We could do that in restrooms in public right now and eliminate the stall gap.
Daffy Duck is insane because he spits a lot. Daffy Duck is also insane for the same reason because he's not wearing any pants and yet you don't see his no-no parts. What's up with that? Insanity.
I don't know if we want to take a tangent, take a sidecar off onto the duck penis place or not, because that could also be one of the insanity things on this list.
That's it, John. That's it. That's the perfect reason why it's insane. Because duck penises are insane. They have corkscrew penises. Big, weird, giant corkscrew penises.
You know, one person's weird penis is another person's good time Saturday night.
Well, I was leaning towards bathroom stall gas, but then we brought up the duck corkscrew penis, and now I'm conflicted. I'm going to go for the ducks now because I'm starting to think there's a reason that they don't wear pants, and I'm nervous as to why.
Charlie Sheen versus Jack Torrance.
Charlie Sheen is insane because he did tons of drugs. He did tons of drugs. I don't know what else he did. He literally has a quote. I'm doing research right now. He literally has a quote. I'm tired of pretending I'm not a total bitchin' rock star from Mars.
Judging by the one time I've seen The Shining, I haven't read it. He's crazy because he literally loses his mind just being around his wife and child. Like the level of crazy that you are, that your people that you pick and produce from your body make you that crazy. Like that's a whole nother type of something. I mean, hotels are always haunted, dude. Like we all know that. Like there's no reason to blame the hotel. You're clearly just like insane from wherever it was that he came from.
Based on the two of those, I'm going to say in an insane off, it's definitely going to be Jack Torrance. And the Bridezillas versus child beauty pageants. Bridezillas are normal people. Maybe they're a little high strung, maybe a very specific thing in mind that they want. But as soon as they say, I do, something breaks in their brain.
The pure insanity that comes from child beauty pageants, it's not just the children themselves, it's their parents, it's their aunties that have their bedazzled shirts, it's their coaches that are hired for thousands of dollars to teach a child how to walk and smile with fake plastic teeth. And it's also about the amount of hairspray, because in those shows, you learned that the higher the hair, the closer to God.
The answer is going to have to be child beauty pageants.
Rat kings versus sanitarium. A rat king would defeat a sanitarium because you get one rat king in amongst the folks with the mental issues, and they will think they are hallucinating and they will lose their shit. I mean, honestly, you drop a rat king into any group of people and they will lose their shit. A rat king will triumph.
The people in the early 1900s sanatoriums were starved. They didn't get anything but like some nasty gruel if they were lucky. You know, they ate rats. That's how they survived. A giant one, a giant pinwheel of rats, that's like a buffet. They catch them, they bite the heads off.
I was on the fence for both, but you know, just by the slightest edge of a rat tooth, I'm going to go with the Rat King.
Nipple disparity versus anti-maskers.
The nipple disparities, unless we free the nipple, will never go away. So they're more long-lasting, more insanely long-lasting, whereas the anti-maskers will just fizzle out on their own.
On a scale of 1 to insanity, not wearing a mask in the time of a pandemic for literally any reason is just plain crazy. Not wearing a bra, you could do that. You could have your nipples out and that won't give you coronavirus. That's a little bit crazier. I would rather see people bare naked wearing a mask and freeing their nipples than I would with the opposite, with fully clothed without a mask.
This is kind of an accident that it happened this way, but this is really two sides of the same problem. In one case, you are covering something that should not be covered. In the other case, you are uncovering something that should not be uncovered. Both insane. I think in this case, I'm going to buy Aaron's argument more in that the anti-maskers will not be a problem forever. So we're going to advance nipple disparity. Donald Trump versus Daffy Duck. Donald Trump should advance because he's a real person and real people deserve things. Donald Trump should advance because most of the time when he says stuff, he doesn't slobber.
2 words, corkscrew penis.
I vote to move forward Daffy Duck because I refuse to vote for Trump for anything. Jack Torrance versus child beauty pageants.
These parents literally spray tan on fake abs on their tiny baby boys' tummies. They put flippers in their little girls' mouths to give them adult-sized teeth smiles in their little faces. They make them snort pixie sticks for energy.
Jack Torrance should advance in the insanity category because he literally talks to a ghost. I would also like to point out that Jack Torrance would axe to death all of the beauty pageant contestants.
I'm going to go with the baby princesses.
In this next round, this is round 3, you are going to take the other side and you're going to say the weaknesses, why your candidate should not win. So we go back up to the top, Rat Kings versus nipple disparity. The reason that Rat King should not win is that it's not a real phenomenon. This is just an urban legend. And while the concept is horrifying, in practice, it does not exist. So we have nothing to fear from its insanity.
Nipples, I mean, it totally sucks, but I guess we can continue dealing with it. There's bigger fish to fry, I guess. How about that?
So I'm going to go with the rats yet again, because it's just like a little bit more crazy than nipples.
What if there was a nipple pinwheel?
That would be insane. Maybe on the next Insanity one, we can argue a nipple pinwheel.
Daffy Duck versus child beauty pageants.
Daffy Duck is less insane because he's just a duck. He spits a lot. He gets a little irritated quickly. He may or may not have a corkscrew penis. It might not be true for him. He's just an uptight duck.
A child beauty pageant is not all that insane. It's just kids playing dress up. And kids would do that naturally. So all adults are doing is taking something that kids do naturally and putting it on display for the entertainment of others. And what is more wholesome than children entertaining adults?
I'm just going to let the children go, and I'm going to say that the Daffy Duck and his penis is just a little bit crazier.
I bet it makes a hilarious noise when it comes out.
It's going to be like those guns that say bang, but it's like boing.
Yeah.
Okay, here is the last round. This is the championship round. It's between the Rat King and Daffy Duck. One of those two is going to be the most insane one. So this is the final argument. Rat King should win this category and this tournament because of all the animal kingdom. You think, what is the scariest animal? And the answer is Rat King. You could tie together any number of animals by the tail, but it would not be as insane and terrifying as a Rat King. You want to, they always say you catch a tiger by the tail, but they don't say you catch 8 tigers and then tie them together.
Daffy Duck is insane because, number one, he doesn't wear pants, and we can't trust people who don't wear pants. He's evaded Elmer Fudd multiple times, so he's got some insane tricks up his wing. Nothing's harder and crazier and more insane than a duck who can talk but chooses to spittle his words out instead.
We've all presented our arguments. We started out with 16. We are now down to 2 and soon down to 1. Erin, tell us, what wins the Insensible tournament? Will it be Rat King or will it be Daffy Duck?
I've thought long and hard about this. And while Daffy Duck is an anti-pantser, I just looked up the actual definition of Rat King, and even the description is so literally insane. It says, a collection of rats whose tails are intertwined and bound together by one of several possible mechanisms, such as entangling material like hair or sticky substances like sap or gum. I say Rat King is the winner.
Rat King is the champion of the day. Congratulations to the Rat King. Rat King goes up onto our tournament wall of fame, which now has 2 items, the most recent Rat King and from our first tournament, Bernie Sanders. Thank you, both of you, for helping us determine what is the most insensible thing right now in the world. We can all sleep easier knowing that it is a Rat King. Keep an eye, subscribe to this channel. We'll have the next one sent directly to you. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day. Boom! Rat King right in your kitchen.